Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. Really good day for the Saints yesterday. I thought the New Orleans Saints played a really good football game against a good football team in the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday. That's an Atlanta team that has played well, that has an offense that's been humming pretty good. Got a veteran quarterback and a defense that has its issues but does have some playmakers. And the Saints didn't torch them, although it looked like they were off to a good start there with a long Taysom touchdown, which would have been nice for my fantasy team, by the way. Instead, it got called back for a penalty, but they just kept plugging along. And you take a 17-7 lead at halftime, and you didn't light it up in the second half, but your defense, which has been buckling for over a month now, showed up and got the stops they needed. Big pick by Tyrann Mathieu, a big fourth down stop at the end there. And the Saints get a 20-17 win. I generally, because we cover the Saints on the professional side and we cover LSU and the SEC on the college perspective, I generally lean more to the emotional side of things with college football because it feels like college kids are a little more volatile. You've got the field rushing, and college kids generally have bigger emotional swings than 29-year-old pros. So I don't spend a lot of time focusing on the headspace of the Saints or their opponents. I just assume they're going to show up ready to play every week. We're talking about, LSU's coming off a bye against Ole Miss, who played a physical game. We're talking about Arkansas coming off a bye, getting LSU coming to Fayetteville after LSU got a big win where they stormed the field. We're talking about, LSU and Texas A&M and the emotion of one team coming off a bye there. Like there's a lot of things that we dissect from the LSU side with emotions and spots on the schedule. You don't do that with the NFL. But in this case, it did apply to the Saints because you could tell based on post-game press conferences and general energy level on the field that the Saints responded to Darren Rizzi last week. And it's evident that Dennis Allen had lost his locker room. And we talked about it last week, and we kind of surmised that, but that was mainly based on the reaction to Allen's termination. Then you see the effort those guys played with yesterday, and you're like, oh, that further crystallizes what we thought. Like they had enough. And I don't know how long you can ride that wave of emotion. I'm not sure. Maybe just 1 week. The interim bump. We talk about that all the time. But it looked a lot better. And Alvin Kamara was plugging, running really hard. He becomes the Saints' all-time leading rusher yesterday. Taysom eased back in there, and they tried, and they plugged along, and they only ran it for 3.6 yards per carry, but they stuck with it, 27 runs. And Carr didn't turn it over. He made a couple big plays to MVS, who is kind of the leader of that group now. I was texting with some buddies like, I don't know a lot about Kevin Austin Jr. I don't know a lot about Dante Pettis. I certainly knew they were on the roster. I get Ross's LouisianaSports.net pieces every single day, and they're in there. But I don't know what kind of impact you can expect from them. At least when you brought in MVS, you knew that you had a pro. You had a guy that had a touchdown catch in the Super Bowl last year, been in the league better than half a decade, and can bring some speed and some veteran presence to a wide receiver room that is a skeleton crew at this point. You don't have Olave, you don't have Shaheed, and you're just trying to figure it out. And MVS makes a big 67-yarder, had 2 touchdowns, went over 100 yards, and was everything they needed. And the Saints got, quite frankly, good fortune. I mean, Young Oku is as accurate a kicker as there's been in the NFL the last handful of years. Saints know that because he beat them in Atlanta with a damn near 60-yard field goal. And he missed 3. Now, you got your hand on one, so credit to you for that one. But the 2 misses, that's just good fortune. And you know what? After 2 months where nothing went the Saints' way and everybody was hurt, and now you're firing your coach and trading your best player, 2 months of misery, I'll take a couple breaks. We'll take an accurate kicker having one of those days. It happens. I did not have a lot of confidence when Atlanta got the football at the end that the Saints were going to be able to get that stop. I did not have a lot of confidence that was going to happen. That is that 2 months of nothing going right talking to me. But they did it. And it was a day that the Saints players and the Saints fan base probably needed. We talked about this last week. It's not a comfortable conversation to have, but if you're a Saints fan, like, is it in your best interest as a Saints fan, not the players? They got to try to win. Got to keep their jobs. But as a Saints fan, are you okay with losing most of them the rest of the way? It's probably the best thing for the organization to get as good a draft pick as you can get. But it is pretty miserable losing and losing and losing and losing and losing. And so to shake that off, however brief it may be, and to do it against that team in that dome, that's a good day for Saints fans in New Orleans. I think there's probably a little more pep in the step of the Central Business District and the Marigny, Bywater, out in Metairie, Mid-City, Lakeview. I think there's a little bit more pep in the step of Saints fans today after beating the Falcons and knocking them down a peg, down to 6-4. You're still 3-7. You're still on a fast track to nowhere this year, but that's not a conversation for today. The conversation for today is great energy, great enthusiasm, great effort. Offense did what it needed to do, made a couple of big plays, committed to the run game, got those 17 points in the second quarter, and the defense, when they had to, slammed the door in the fourth quarter, creating turnovers, getting the stops, and doing enough to beat the Atlanta Falcons inside the dome. That was a good day for Saints fans, one they desperately needed. Now you turn around and Cleveland comes to the dome, and hopefully you can get a little bit healthier and get some of these receivers a little bit more seasoning. But great win, great energy, great vibes. Alvin Kamara gets his Saints rushing record. Good day for Saints fans. Didn't start off very well for Darren Rizzi. If you missed that press conference, there's some quality stuff. Asked kind of what he did to start the day. He's like, well, I'm pretty transparent. Came in today and clogged the toilet up. Like that's the first thing he said when he's asked about his first game day as the head coach. But after that, it got better. And the Saints get that win over the Dirty Birds in the Dome. If you're looking for Saints coverage, you can always find it on LouisianaSports.net, where Ross Jackson's got it, or, of course, on YouTube with us, Hunt on Saints. Subscribe to the channel. You get all your Saints news right there to your feed when you subscribe to Hunt on Saints. Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.